All right, Lady Ada, what is this?
Hey, everybody, and welcome to Show and Tell. It's us, the OG Show and Tell crew. Me, Lady Ada. Him, Mr. Lady Ada, on camera control. But we're going to check in with all sorts of people from the Maker and Adafruit and DigiKey community, see what they're crafting, what robots they're building, what LEDs they're soldering up. Yeah. Come on by. We're in Discord in the live broadcast chat and also live on StreamYard. If you go to Discord, you'll get the link. Yeah. Let's first go to Jay.
Jay, what's going on?
And his robot friend.
Hey. I have this week is my upgrade to binary, at least the head portion right now. I really don't have everything else put together as of yet. But I've been working on the upgrade of my bubble blowing robot, and this is what I have thus far. I probably got all the wires and everything nice and clean on the inside. I got a new blinking feature, so now I can like blink, which I think is really adorable. More LEDs, of course, and most of the bottom portions I'm probably going to be controlling with an Adafruit Feather motor controller and basic control, so I can like turn the neck and stuff, and also control the bubbles. But yeah, that's pretty much what I have.
Pretty good.
Sorry,
I love the little ear sticks. Those are so cute.
Yeah, the last ones looked kind of like meat hooks, and everyone kept telling me it looked like meat hooks, so I wanted to change it up and give it more LEDs this time around, make it a lot more glowy. And a lot more like form-fitting, I think it works.
Yeah, they're like kind of like ears / little arms. I don't know, prehensile.
Yeah, I love the little character it gives to it too, because like sideways and like does stuff like this. It's like a little shocked or surprise or something along those areas.
Yeah, human brains want to see a face and emotion, so it's like two little lines could be eyebrows, they could be ears.
Yeah, I was just thinking it's like eyebrow-like.
They could be all sorts of things, even with tiny little movements. It also looks like little tiny arms. This is really cute. All right, well, continue to come back and show us the projects. This is a super, 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 super nice robot.
I'm really hoping to have this done before the year is over. That's kind of like my personal deadline. So like as I just finished the head this week, I am now printing out the bottom part of the body for it can roll around, and also a new backpack for the bubble blowing part, because science, yay.
A good goal to get something done. Wherever you get to by the end of the year, you're like, okay, like I'm done with this.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much, Jay, and thank you to all your friends and colleagues at DigiKey for what a big year of getting everything in the world back in stock. So we're now able to build things again, all of us.
All right.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jay.
Laters.
All right, next up we're going to go to Pedro. Pedro, take it away.
Hey guys. So this week we are continuing with some Qualia demos. This week Noah made this really cool fireplace. Mar had some really cool code that is able to play the MJPEGs on this. I just made a cute little case for it. So it's cool. It's comes out. So I can take this guy out of the frame, and it could just be a case on its own. And then you have some really cool touch to advance to like other JPEGs that are on here. For the case, we have some Ninja Flex buttons on the side, so we can also advance it to there. And you have like your reset button on there as well. You also have access to your like micro SD cards. You can store a bunch of video files on here. And we were actually trying to test what the limit of the videos we could get on here. So far, it's definitely like over 3 minutes is what we have on some of these clips. And I'm trying to get to the one that Lamar sent over because it's so like bizarre. I've never seen this before. The Santa Claus invades Mars.
Yeah, well, we wanted to find a public domain movie so that it wasn't a big deal to show it, and all the holiday themed. And it turned out it was like Santa Claus versus the Martians was one of them. So there you go.
It's so funny because it's like this is where Futurama totally got Robo Santa from.
Yeah.
So we got a couple of the different displays. You can like choose a different one, or you can just have it as a main case itself. Of course, it's all snap fit together. So if I pull this out, you can see how this guy is all wired up. It's the quality board on there. We got the SDIO breakout on there, and that all just fits inside here. Just hook up to a USB battery and go to town on ripping some cool, funny GIFs to play back.
That's really neat.
Nice work. Videos. Yeah, this is a good collaboration. You guys did the hardware. Over the weekend, Phil gave me some time. And I was able to really, luckily the author, Moon on Our Nation, wrote a really great JPEG decoder. So I just got it working with the buttons and the cap touch and the quad SDIO. So it's like nice and fast, 10 frames a second, which is pretty good for like an Arduino, right? It doesn't have hardware, and MP4 decoding. It's just JPEGs, but it can play JPEGs fast enough to make it look like a movie.
Yeah, it's super cool.
For all the parents out there building whatever play sets, whether it be like dollhouses or miniature settings, this is a great way to do that because you can put everything that you want to on it and also have lots of different things and update it. And it could also be a fun coding project for the kiddo. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, Pedro.
Yeah. Oh, thank you guys. Have a good one.
All right, JP, what you got going on this week?
Hey, now you're making me think my Lego Village, Winter Village, is going to need like a public TV.
I was thinking about it, like maybe like a movie theater.
Yeah, you can have
television.
Well, every holiday there's like some movies that are just on like TBS is like, we're playing Christmas Carol for 24 hours straight. You could do something like that with it.
It's a Wonderful Life on loop.
Yeah, Twilight Zone on New Year's, stuff like that.
So I got two things I want to show real quick today. One, this is the summoning horn, which was a project on our Learn Guide suggested originally by a friend of mine, Cory Doctorow, who is a kind of kooky guy and a sci-fi author. And sometimes he needs to get in touch with his editor, and his editor's not answering an email. He said, I really want to put a car horn in my editor's office that I can trigger remotely over the internet. So that's what we built. This uses Adafruit IO on ESP32S2 Express. So it's got the Wi-Fi on there. And this is registered on your local network. And then I've got a 12-volt car horn sitting here with a little stemma relay. And what I'm going to do, you won't see this on screen. I'm just going to press a button that says Toot Horn on an Adafruit IO dashboard, and it's going to get loud.
Yeah,
okay, it's very
this is going to change the publishing industry. By the way, this is going to be used for editors to bug their authors.
I know, right?
Where's that next chapter? Where's that next Game of Thrones book?
It's going to be like a car horn Cold War.
Yeah.
So, in fact, I made one for Cory, his editor, and his editor's assistant, so they can blast each other with them. That was the goal. So I'll show this one a little bit more detail on my show tomorrow, and then I'm going to give this one to Cory so they can all attack each other. So it's sort of a.
Is it done yet? Is it done yet? Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see if they're willing to call a truce at some point.
I know, right?
No.
Or next time you see them, they all have like hearing damage.
Right. Yeah, this is maybe what's going to happen. I don't know. It's out of my hands. So the other thing I want to show is the progress on my reverse hardware oscilloscope. This is a project inspired by a project we saw that Lamore said, hey, try to see if we can make one of these. So I built my own custom PCB. You can just see the backside of it here. And I've just sent a revision out to get made with a couple changes, but it's working well. So this is 16 faders that change the individual points of a single cycle waveform for a synthesizer. So what that means is I can send this MIDI, so it's going to play music. And if you listen while I am playing the music, I'm going to change these sliders, which is changing the timbre of that waveform. So I'm just going to hit play over in a MIDI software.
That's cool.
I've also got a little volume control here up top and a few other features that I can access while it's playing to change the number of oscillators and how far out of tune. So it'll get all kind of mysterious sounding now. Go back to kind of a triangle wave. So it's kind of neat because it illustrates the shapes of waves. When we look at synthesis, we're always talking about triangle waves and saw waves and square waves. This is that, right? We're making a square wave right now. And we can change the sort of pulse width of that square wave and hear how that changes the sound of it. We can go back to a nice sine wave, which shouldn't have as many harmonics in it and sound kind of smoother.
That's nice.
All right.
Yeah, it's just fun. I mean, it just looks like fun, honestly, to play with.
Yeah. Okay,
And
cool. So folks can tune into JP's workshop tomorrow and see some of this and more, right?
yes, yeah, come on by. We'll be looking at this and more. And this will be a project as a learn guide. This PCB is not going to be a product, but I will put files up if someone wants to send out to have them made. Everything else on it, you're going to bolt on Adafruit parts. So it's
Cool.
pretty easy to put together. You don't have to do any tricky wiring. Just put these into their slots and solder them up.
All right, thank you so much, JP, and see you tomorrow. Okay, next up, I think Erin is here, but the preview kind of went away. So I think Erin,
Her internet has been
connection went down. So we'll go to Erin if Erin makes it back. But for now, on deck, there'll be, oh, Erin's back. Hey, Erin, do you want to try? It looks like you're
I'm
around.
trying. My Wi-Fi is kind of going up and down. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, go ahead and try.
All right, well, we'll see how far we get. So my project this week is this really cool edge-lit acrylic tavern sign. So I made this for a bar that's here in Sacramento, and I put it with a bunch of their other artwork. I've got my jellyfish up there too. And it's a pretty fun project. Whoa, we got a little sound here going on. But yeah, it animates is what I'm trying to get at here. I used laser cutter to cut out the letters. This is just an old redwood fence that I just took down from my backyard, and then used some a feather ESP32 Huzzah and an IR sensor, so this can actually be controlled with an infrared remote as well. And then I used WLED software with edge-lit acrylic. And now this right here is kind of a comparison. I have one piece of specialty edge-lit acrylic, which is expensive from Tap Plastics, and then one piece of just normal acrylic. So I kind of wanted to do a side-by-side comparison to see if the edge-lit stuff is really any better. And, you know, it's not. It sort of seems to be exactly the same. I couldn't tell any difference whatsoever with the two different halves. I sanded it, and the more you sand it, the more sort of glow comes out. And it's, you know, acrylic seems to be acrylic in this case for this app.
Yeah, I think it's just like the finish is just rougher. That's the only difference. It's not like a material plastic difference. It's still PMMA.
Yeah. And then this WLED software is super cool. If you have never used it, it basically is just an open source free software that you just download in a couple minutes. And then it comes with all these different animation modes and color choices, and you can just control it with your phone. There's no coding required. You can set up presets and all kinds of cool stuff. It's super easy to use. So it's my favorite kind of new software for controlling LEDs, and I haven't gotten tired of it yet. I'm finding all kinds of neat stuff that it does. So this tutorial shows how to use it with infrared remotes, so you can control it either with your phone or with a remote control, which is kind of cool for the bar, so that, you know, anybody can just turn the sign on and off, the bartenders can or whatever. So
Okay.
That is cool. All right, thanks so much. And we'll be playing that video on Ask an Engineer tonight.
all right.
There's a new guide that's up. All right, thanks so much, Erin.
Thanks,
My Wi-Fi
Erin.
coverage. Yeah. All
I
right,
know
thanks.
the Wi-Fi was great. Congratulations.
All right, so next up, we're going to go to Gary, and then BCG, and then Delchi. So, Gary, how's it going?
Hi all. Hi. Sorry, I missed the last show until last week, but for you cosplayers out there, I built a Westar 35 based on Bo-Katan and Kreese from the Mandalorian series.
Oh, nice.
And not just building the prop itself, but I thought, you know, for the cosplayers out there, add a bit of Adafruit Allspark to it. So I got some micro switches for the triggers, and one trigger sets off the safety, another one just fires the.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
So I got some really good. So yeah, so I just thought I'd just add some lighting and electronics to it, and just
And
using
that's
a
3D
trinket.
printed? Did you print the
That's
pieces
right.
of it?
I use a 3D printer to print everything. That's mostly PTG. I just use some timber filament for the handle, but otherwise most of it's just 3D printed.
Yeah. It's neat.
I
It
still
looked
need
like
to-
wood and it looked like metal. So good work on that.
I use a liquid chrome for that, so that just gave me that metallic effect. And I just like the
That's a
3D
good
print
idea.
lines to give it like a brushed metal finish. But
Yeah,
otherwise,
it
I still
looks
need
great.
to
Yeah, it
weather it
actually
a bit.
looked like brushed metal.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, how'd you do
Yeah,
that?
I can't go too realistic though. I mean, in Australia, if it looks too realistic, I might get into trouble.
I know.
It depends where you live. I lived in Japan for a while, and when I visited, there's entire hobby stores devoted to recreating historical guns, and it's down to the millimeter, and I'm just like, wow, things that I would not, walk around with in other places. So you just have to have good context of where you're at and what you're doing. So,
That's right. Well, I think it's if a replica of something that can actually fire, then you'd be in trouble. You need a license for it.
I think
if it's something that's
events,
obviously,
they do a good job. Cosplay events do a good job. They like educate the community too. They're like, hey, here's what's important with things that look like weapons or not.
That's right. And just a shout out to Noel and Pedro, because I use an old project of theirs of a blaster pistol that they use, a ray gun blaster pistol.
Yeah.
And I just modified that because I thought it was, I always had trouble trying to copy WAV files over to Trinket or microcontrollers, and I'm working my way over to Qt Pi. But for now, I just use a sound card to trigger the sound effects and to save them. That's awesome. And I'm working my way to Qt Pi and just upgrading the memory on there just to minimize the amount of circuit boards and stuff I have as well. So I'll put a link up onto a printable. So whoever wants to put it up on there.
This now completes another thing from Mandalorian. We had a ship that has recreations and Adafruit stuff in it, including the real one on the show. And so now there's costuming that has it as well. So thank you so much for coming by, Gary.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right. Next, BCG, what you got going on?
Hey, so I've been ordering from you guys for like 12 years, but this is like my first PCB that I ever made. Ooh. So it's a controller for my Kinesis 2 or my Kinesis Advantage 2 keyboard. And I made it so that you can use either like a KB20 or a Feather.
Oh, good idea.
By choosing either of these jumpers. And then, or even if you don't want to use one, you can just, so it uses a couple I2C port expanders there. And here's what it looks like assembled. So once it's in the keyboard, it's like all of the whole matrix and the LEDs on the other side of the board are all available through the port expander. So it ends up almost being like a Stemma QT accessory or something. So that's kind of how I'm running it here. And that makes it real nice to like switch out, micro control. This one's a KB 2040, and then I can just add peripherals just hanging off like this. So
nice.
So that, and I think it came out pretty well. I have my own like TinyGo firmware for it, and so I'm adding features right now. But that's my first board, so I wanted to show it.
Wow, a great build.
Yeah, that's a good project and good. I like the projects that you're able to use every day, because that real estate in front of you is so precious. It's like I have a good toothbrush and a good belt and a good hat, like something that you use every day, like a keyboard. It's like you get to enjoy your creation every moment. You're like,
well, even this one, it's like, I've been typing for a long time, so I need like an ergonomic one.
Yeah, that's an ancient style. Yeah.
And so, but they don't have all the functionality I want. So I'm just kind of upcycling it.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the best things if folks do their journey on electronics is as you learn stuff, including make your own PCBs, you can eventually make your own tools to make other things like a keyboard. You could make a mouse. Next, there's some people who do 3D printing mice. They 3D print the mouse itself and they use the HID stuff. Like some of our
that's one of the things I added to it, is to be able to use mouse keys, so I don't have to move my hand away from the key. So. Yeah,
oh, nice. So, yeah. All right, this is an excellent project. Congrats.
Nice work.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Good job. All right, Delchi, how about you play us out? What you got going on this week?
Okay, first off, as you suggested, I did put the CB mic adapter up on Playground, so it's there. And then a few days later, I got a box of parts from you folks, so I went nuts. Please forgive me for the lighting. It's kind of hard to shoot this.
Okay.
This is a Raspberry Pi 4 touchscreen system that's controlling WLED on ESP32s that you can see are lighting up my apartment.
Oh, nice.
And so I'm using home automation, and home automation is being controlled from this panel right here. And I can turn the lights off or on. I can check the current and the number of lights, and I can control it from this touchscreen.
I like how your apartment looks like it's in the movie Hackers. It's definitely got that.
Well, it is.
Hackers looks like Delchi's apartment.
That's true.
Oh, I mean, there's this section over here, and then there's the RF section over there. That's where the controller for home automation is.
This is where Trinity and Neo are like, hey, like we just got to stop into the Matrix for a couple minutes.
Now, the second thing I did this week was out of necessity. This right here. Have you ever wanted to not pull out your rack to put wiring and do wiring and do wiring?
Yes.
Yeah.
Patch bays are ridiculously expensive. A regular patch bay can cost $300 to $400. I built this one out of Keystone parts for about $40.
Nice.
And what this allows me to do is if I have a project that I'm working on and I just want to plug it into the mixer, I can just do it here, or I can pull something out or swap something around and not have to go out here, pull everything out, and rewire everything. And that comes in real handy when you're making something like this. You know how some people have environmental audio, like rainstorms or white noise?
Yeah.
This Raspberry Pi touchscreen with the LCARS front end on it does more than that. Imagine you're in your workspace and you want your white noise to be the engines from Voyager.
Ooh.
Or you want it to be a thunderstorm, or if you want the Star Trek The Next Generation engine room.
That is soothing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can hear, it's hard to hear because it's kind of a low rumble.
Yeah,
but what you
cancel it out.
I can hear the warp engine in my brain. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So it's like what you can do is right now it only has 4 different sounds to it, but it feeds into here through the patch bay into my mixer and goes to my speakers that fill the entire apartment. And so the entire place sounds like the engine room of the Enterprise.
That's great.
And I can set this controller up anywhere and just hit the button and say, hey, I want this sound or I want that sound. Or if I'm just done for the night, I just log out of it.
All right, nice work.
All right, Delchi. Fantastic work. And, thanks for putting stuff on Playground. We featured it. I think it was in a newsletter. So,
yeah.
I
did see it got featured.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about the lighting. It's hard to see everything, but I don't have.
We can see it.
This is hacker lighting. Thank you for showing up. Everyone else had too much lighting. You had the exact right amount.
I like it. Like a guy.
Like one of these days, I want to do like a short video of just everything in this place. You can just see every bit of it. From the telephone, from the PBX system to the stereo system, just people have come over here and they completely lose their minds because they think they're in a movie studio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been accused. They're like, are you filming a movie here? And I'm like, no, this is my life.
This is a real-time simulation of the simulation. All right. Well, thank you.
There you go.
Appreciate it.
All right, good to see you.
Cheers. See you next time.
Yeah. Come by anytime.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much. That was a fantastic show and tell. You got a glimpse into the Matrix this week. In addition to some robot LED ears, the LCD fireplace, the publisher's little helper, Erin with a wireless sign, Gary came by with a really neat prop that was from Mandalorian, and then a keyboard from BCG, and then Delchi had a touchscreen system and more. That was a lot of fun. We'll see everybody next week on Show and Tell. By the way, for the folks who like watch everything and know our show, if we're not on live some week, it's just because we have to like watch our kid or something like that. We try to arrange it so we can do the show.
We made it today.
Yeah, just so by the way, like if you ever wonder,
it was up 10 minutes.
Yeah, if you ever wonder, like where in the world, Phil, that's the only times that we wouldn't be able to do a live show.
We never get sick.
So, yeah. So
I mean, we do get sick, but like,
yeah.
I think I had COVID, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna like do the show anyway.
I think the sick gets tired of us. Yeah, it just moves on. So, anyways, if we're not here one week, but we also have the team at Adafruit that'll host also. But pretty much for the month of December, we'll be around. We very much look forward. This is the best half an hour every week, every single week. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming by and sharing your projects. We will see you on Ask an Engineer in like 5 minutes. Bye, everybody.